What is going on, guys and girls? It's your boy Tim Sits here, and today we're finally doing it. I am finally talking about this beast, the Honda CB1300. I've had literally ones of people ask for this, so here we go. Alrighty. Now, this is probably going to come off as biased because it is my motorcycle. But there is a reason that this is my motorcycle. And that reason is that this bike is amazing. Whew. Alrighty, so first up, the first thing you notice on this bike, getting from any other bike, getting from like a regular sports bike, is how heavy it is when you're sitting there. It feels very, very heavy, but it's like a low down weight. So it's not like, because the center of gravity is lower down. So you feel how heavy and weighty it is. And then you sit on the seat and your tushes just, so comfortable. It's like a comfort you've never felt before on a motorcycle. Unless you're coming from a Goldwing, but let's be real. You get on, it feels heavy, then you feel comfortable. And then you start it up and it's a little underwhelming. Just at idle. But it sound, even with the aftermarket even the aftermarket exhaust at idle, it sounds very tame. It doesn't quite have the same high pitched whine as like your regular inline four super sport bikes. It sounds a little deeper, a little throatier, a little more muscular. But yeah, so then you get going, and all of a sudden, the weight, like as soon as you start moving, it takes its own weight really well. Like because it's got so much torque. It's all down low. It doesn't feel hard to move around at low speeds. It's like as soon as there's like a tiny little bit of the bike pulling its own weight, there's no issue at all with the weight. So that's good. So it's only when you're like you've parked on a hill and you've got to walk it back up that there's an issue with the weight. So you get that out of the way, you start moving, and it doesn't feel earth-shattering or groundbreaking, and that's it sneaks up on you and surprises you into being in love with it, because you don't realize until you get back onto whatever bike you had and you're like, oh, my bike's not very comfortable and there's not much torque. It's weird how it does it. But so I first rode this, I was like, and then I got back on the R1, and then it just started eating away at me, and then I was like, maybe it's time I had some comfort in my life. You know? The R1's not known for being a comfortable bike. Not necessarily uncomfortable, but compared to this, it's fucked. But yeah, so like that's the biggest thing about this bike is the comfort, because you got a cushy seat and your upright handlebars, but you're not full cruiser legs out here. you're still sort of in like a semi-racy position with the rear sets, where it's comfortable, but it's not too slow. Because you can cruise around all day, and it's no issue whatsoever, and then you get off, and you're fine. You don't get that, oh, gotta stretch my legs out for a second because my butt is a bit cramped. You get off and it's brilliant. And then you take it to the hills, and you keep up with your mates, and you're like, well, why am I sacrificing all this comfort to go just as quickly? And so yeah, and then it just grows on you. And then you start dreaming about naked bikes and about muscle bikes. 'Cause that's what this is. It's a muscle bike. It's like you dig into the throttle and the back just sort of plants in, and then you go, and it's just a beefcake of a motorbike. But it's sick, and it looks normal size for me. And then whenever my mates ride it and I'm on their bikes, it just looks gigantic compared to them. But yeah, so I've done a little bit with the bike now. So like I've painted all the chrome shit black, and I've tidied up the fender and put bar ends on, put heated grips on, rim tape on, and it's pretty much perfect now. Like, you know, like with motorbikes, you're constantly thinking about what bike's next, and I'm yet to find a bike that would be an upgrade from this for me without getting some form of specialized bike, be it an off-road bike or a track bike or whatever. But I'll probably take this to the track and still kick it with the big boys. I got 1300 cc's of fun and comfort on this. So yeah. Wow, sick race stripes on your Focus. That looks mad. And not cringy at all. Yeah, so what I'm trying to say in a roundabout way is that this bike doesn't do anything particularly specially. It just does everything well. And sometimes a good all-rounder is what you need, you know? Go for rides all day, cruise around, go to work on it. It's great, it's comfortable. It's not poor on petrol, especially for being a 1300. I've toured on it. That thing was great. It was a great tour on it. Not having a windscreen doesn't really bother you that much. So the thing is just magical. And also very low key. There are certain people whose attention you don't want. Boys in blue. And it just doesn't come up on their radar because it's an old man's bike. I guess it sort of looks less old mansy bike now, but I've sportied it up a little bit. But even so, you know, it doesn't look like a race bike. So you can still go just as quick as the race bikes, but you're not going to get that unwanted attention, which is just nice, you know? It's just nice sometimes to not have to worry. And also they're super rare. Like, you see a few CB1300s, but it is very rare to see one of these. And that's cool, because every man and his dog have R1s. But who's got a CB1300? Tempsits does. Woo! Yeah, this thing's amazing. The bike's amazing. If you get a chance to get one, get one. Come see me, I'll let you ride mine. And also it's a Honda, so it's unbreakable. This thing's done like 50,000 Ks. Still on its original spark plugs. It doesn't care. It don't give a fuck. Alright, well that about does it for today's review of the Honda CB1300. watching. And I'll be catching you on the next ones. Peace.